I've been streaming here on YouTube for the last 2 or 3, maybe even more years, once a week on Thursday nights at 8 PM UK time, if you're interested. And it's a great way to have a chat with you, to answer any of your tech questions, and I very much enjoy doing it. Now, I've been streaming with a Logitech, C922, the kind of standard go-to of the start-out streaming webcams, and that's great if you do gameplay streams, but if you're doing what I normally do, which is straight up face-to-face chats, then the quality isn't quite perfect. It's fine, it got me by for a good number of years, but I thought now was a good time to do a bit of an upgrade. Now, I went out and purchased this Sony a5100 to do just that, and Elgato, the legends that they are, sent over a load of things for me to make this actually work and actually look somewhat good. Now, there are a whole load of ways that you could go about doing this sort of streaming upgrade setup. For me, I went, like I said, with the Sony a5100. I actually bought it used, very lightly used, but one of the really nice things is that the previous person who owned it, I guess, was a streamer because they provided a micro HDMI cable to use and a dummy battery as well as the AC adapter. So that means that I can actually use this as a streaming camera without having to buy anything else, which is really nice. And then there are the Elgato bits that make it work and make it look good. The first one that makes it work is the Cam Link. You probably already know what this is, but this is the Cam Link 4K, and it lets you capture HDMI specifically from something like a camera and have it displayed in OBS or XSplit, or in my case, Streamlabs OBS. All you have to do is plug in your HDMI cable, and you are off to the races. You can import it as a standard camera source, and you're good to go. And the things that are gonna make it look good are this new Elgato ring light. Now, I'm no stranger to Elgato lights. In fact, I've got one over there. You can probably see its reflection in my glasses, and that is the standard key light. That is fantastic. It has color temperature changes and brightness changes, and you can control it from the Stream Deck, which is what I do. Really useful. This one is the exact same thing, but in a ring light, and lets you mount the camera in the center. This should be very good for my sort of streaming setup, and I'm not sure if I'll keep the ring light the key light that I've got downstairs, but we'll see once we get to fitting it. Either way, I do need a good way to mount this to my desk, so I'm going to be, in the video, cutting up a little bit of wood and drilling and screwing to the back of my desk so that I can mount it, because the way my desk is set up, I can't use the standard mount that this comes with. There's no lip for me to grab onto. And I also got their multi-mount flex arm kit so that I can position it where I want it. So that's the Elgato bits, that's the new camera. Let's go downstairs and show you what the current setup looks like, and then we can go about upgrading it, and then I'll show you what the revised setup looks like. So this has pretty much been the stream quality for the last, well, 2, 3, 4 years, however long it's been. Like I said, I'm using a Logitech C922. I've got an Elgato key light that you can see in my glasses, and I'm using an Elgato Wave 3 as my microphone. Previous to that, I was using the Blue Yeti Nano, and before that, the standard Blue Yeti. So I've used a fair range of things, but the one thing I haven't upgraded in the last, well, like I said, like 3+ years is the camera. So let's go do that. The first thing I need to do is chop down a bit of wood so that I can screw it to the back of my desk so that the new sort of arm has something to clamp onto, and then we can get everything mounted up and you can see the shiny new image quality. and this is what the new setup looks like. I'm incredibly happy with how it looks. The quality is much better, and while you can still see the ring lights in my eyes, the image quality definitely makes up for that. And since I normally look at the stream down here, the stream chat here anyway, and maybe myself over here, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I really like this sort of depth of field effect that the camera is running natively. It's running at f4.5 right now because of the 26 millimeter zoom that's running on that lens. So yeah, I'm really happy. Of course, I could upgrade the lens at some point since it's a Sony E-mount, so any Sony E-mount lens should fit on there just fine. And so if I want to get a little bit more background compression and blur out my terrible testing station wiring job, or the rags of thermal paste, then that is perfectly possible. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this has turned out, the positioning, and definitely with the lighting too. So that is the setup. I'm incredibly happy with the image quality and the general overall, well, setup of it. I do plan on upgrading the microphone arm situation since I currently don't have a situation to upgrade, so that will be happening at some point in the not too distant future. But at the moment, I am very happy with the outcome, the quality, all that stuff, and I'm very excited to be chatting with you in nice crisp HD rather than slightly noisy and grainy. Now the fun thing about this is that I'm actually recording this at like 4 p.m. on a Thursday, so you will see streams of with this new setup before you see this video, which is kind of fun. But if you want to check out those streams, like I said, they're 8 p.m. UK time every Thursday, so feel free to jump in and say hi. Of course, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button with the bell notification icon so you get notified when I go live. And yeah, that's kind of it really. I will leave links to the Elgato bits in the description down below if you want to check them out for yourself. They are awesome, highly recommended. Also, I'll leave the Wave 3 review on the end. That's the microphone I use, and it's probably the most apt previous video for you to follow on if you want to check that out and if you're a streamer yourself. And that's kind of it. I've got plenty of other links in the description down below you can check out. The usual ones for merch or hoodies or t-shirts like this one, or Patreon for access to our Money Man Discord chat, and of course you support me directly enough to be able to buy things like fancy new cameras to show off to you guys. So thank you very much to the patrons. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave those in the comments down below, but otherwise, we'll catch you in the next video.